Hello, my friends. Welcome to episode 81 of From Impossible to Inevitable. It seems so crazy to me to be in the 80s of this podcast. It's kind of wild. So I've really been enjoying acknowledging to myself what episode we're on every time I record one now because it's so exciting to me. Sometimes when you're just recording an episode a week and it's just like, man, yeah, I'll never get up there. I'm just going to stay in the teens forever. But we've left the teens far, far behind, and that's just so fun. Okay, so I have a fun thought for you. Really fun. This is something that's actually been on my mind for maybe a couple of months now. I am a solid 30 Seconds to Mars fan. They're a band, and I have been a fan of theirs since 2001 when they first released their very first album. And I know all their songs. I've heard them all. I don't love them all, but that's just part of life. I've always resonated with 30 Seconds to Mars. There's just something about it that I've loved. And I always find a few songs in every album that just become part of my life soundtrack. And they just recently released an album. They've got an upcoming tour, or maybe they're on tour. They're probably on tour. I don't know. Jake and I are gonna see them in a few weeks at the end of July. I'm so excited about that. And so we're gonna go to that, and that's gonna be so fun. So I've been listening to their new album a lot because I want to be able to jam to it appropriately at the concert. And one of the new songs is called World on Fire. And one of the best lines in it, or I guess one of the lines that has had me thinking the most, is this line. It says, "When you change the way you look at life, the life you look at changes." Now, wow, that really strikes for me because it's so true. If you choose to have a negative outlook on life, or a negative view on everything that you have in life, or everything that you experience, nothing is good enough, or you never have enough, or you are never enough. I've felt and thought these feelings, all of them, at some point. And really, I could probably tell you the exact years in which I have felt that way about my life, if we wanted to, but I don't. Then that's what you get. That is what you get. When that is what you see, that is what you continually get, because that's all you see anyway. If all you see is crap, then that's it. That's all there is, because that's all you're choosing to see. So when you change the way you look at life, when you feel like maybe everything, all the situation around you is just crap, when you start to look for gold, when you change that first part and you're like, okay, I truly feel like I'm surrounded by crap here, and I'm going to allow that feeling. I am going to choose to instead look for the gold. There has to be some gold around here somewhere. There has to be. Like, there can't be this much crap without some gold somewhere. You start to look for that gold. And maybe you start to look for it a little bit out of frustration. And you will find that gold. Maybe new things will come into your life that are just pure gold. And you're just like, why did this not show up earlier? Oh, well, probably because you weren't ready for it, because you were just so stuck in the quagmire of crap that you weren't ready for any gold to come your way. And the universe isn't going to waste gold on somebody who's just so stuck in their own crap, right? So when you start to look for the gold, you start to find the gold. You start to find the gold that is around you already, if you are set on looking for it. Last summer, I was really focused in on the weeds around our house, and that focus really spilled over into the podcast, and I had all of these analogies about lawn care. and personal development. If you missed any of those, they're a treat. Go listen to them. Because they're really great ideas. I love these metaphors. Metaphors, I feel like are like one of my languages. And so if you have weeds everywhere, guess what? Some of those weeds flower, right? Thistles. I love thistles. I don't want thistles in my yard. I get that. I love seeing thistles on the side of the road because I think the actual thistle blossom is beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. It's so dynamic. And if you actually get in there and touch a thistle blossom, it's so soft. It is so soft. And I love thistles, but it's a weed and it is a very spiky, thorny, will eat you alive weed. But it's so beautiful. So here's the analogy. Here's where I'm going with that. If all you see are the weeds in your life, there are flowers among them. You can choose to see just the weeds, or you can choose to appreciate the flowers that are in there among them as well. They might not be roses. They might not be something you actually want, but they are there and they are pretty. Okay, so yeah, you might be surrounded by all of this that's undesirable. There's something in there that is actually desirable. Right here behind me, I did this challenge, this 75-day art challenge with an artist and illustrator who I follow. Her name is Jenna Blackburn. I love her. She's so kind and so sweet and just so real. She's just the best. Anyways, she hosted this challenge right here behind me, and the challenge was to draw or create art every day. It was to create art every day. And so what I did is I chose to create art every day on these little 5-inch square pieces of watercolor paper. And that was the only parameter I was giving myself. The rest of anything was up for inspiration or up for time, amount of time I had or whatever. I don't love all of this. I don't. Some of this stuff I was like, that's ugly. And I put it up there anyway. But there are pieces in there that I loved. There are ideas that I created. So day 1 is right here, and then it goes the other way down here to day 75, which is a rainbow. And if you're not watching on YouTube and you're just listening to the podcast, use your imagination or go pull up YouTube. There's a link in the show notes for it. But I don't love all of these, but some of them sparked ideas for other ones. So there are some themes that I started on, in the early days that I continued into the later days because I was interested, because I wanted to see where it would go. So there are the pretty things. Even though I don't love all of these, there are some gems in there that I actually really like. And maybe you don't, and that's fine. So where I'm going with this is when you change the way you look at life. So if I change the way I look at this project, okay, let me back up. If I looked at this project and like everything has to be amazing, then I would be largely disappointed with this project. But if I change the way I look at it of like, it's a daily art challenge. The goal is to create art every single day, and it's all an experiment anyway, then I can appreciate what comes out of it. Yeah, they're not all gems, but guess what? There's 75 of them. That means I did it. I reached that goal of daily art making and experimentation and trying new things. And part of trying new things means some of them don't work out, and that's fine. So back to our crap and gold analogy, you might feel like everything around is crap. Start looking for the gold. Truly, start looking for it. If you hate your environment, start looking for the things that you love about it. Even doesn't matter how small they are. This isn't about size necessarily. It's about quantity, because you're training your mind to look for these things. So don't measure them in like how big they are or how much of an impact they make. Just find 5 things, 10 things that you love about your environment or that you love about whatever situation that is crappy. If you are experiencing some sort of crappy situation with a person or with work or with whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. Start looking for the gold. Start looking for the desirable things. And the more you look for that, the more you change the way you look at your life or the situation, the more your life or the situation will change. Obviously, this goes in reverse too. You could have all of the most amazing things around you, and if you're so focused in on the crap, then you're just going to find more crap. Stop that. Stop that. Because you find what you look for. Oh my gosh, I once had this guy. It was a UPS guy. He dropped off a package, and he was, I was like, I hope I had to sign something, and he was like, I hope you're having a good day. And I was like, yeah, I hope you are too. And he's like, well, nothing bad has happened yet, but I'm still on the lookout for it because every day is crappy. And I was like, I stood there and I was so aghast at, like, what? How do you live like that? And it really surprised me because we've had the same UPS guy in our neighborhood forever. So I've always waved to him, whenever I'm walking the dog or leaving the house or whatever, but I've never had him on my doorstep because I've never had to sign for anything. And I was just shocked. How do you live like that? How do you go about every day expecting the worst? That'd be awful. That'd be so awful. Don't do that. Don't live like that. Go through every day expecting the best. And sure, you are still going to get crappy days, but how much better are you going to feel on a normal, regular basis? And then how delighted will you be when the best shows up? And the funny thing is I'm not going to go into what he delivered to me, but what he delivered to me was something that was totally going to light me up. It was totally going to be the best part of my day, maybe the best part of my week. He delivered that to me, and he was looking for the bad. He was looking for the awful. He'd already decided that the day was going to be terrible because yesterday was terrible and the day before that was terrible. And I could not even believe that was something that he just so plainly said to me. I wish I had been more prepared for it because, boy, then he would have gotten an earful. But I was so shocked that I had nothing. So shocked. Just to give you an example of this is one of my very favorite exercises of you find what you seek. So I want you to take, 10, 15 seconds, look around your environment, your room, wherever you are, and find all of the blue things. Everything that's blue. Look for it and make a mental note of it. Just say, like, oh, so like in my environment here, there's a blue marker and a blue book and a blue painting, and I've got some blue glitter and lots of blue over here. You can't see that far on my color palette, but there's blue on the artwork behind me. There's another blue book, some blue magazines, some blue markers. There's all of these things around me that are blue. And then you close your eyes after you have made a mental note of all of these things in your environment that are blue. You close your eyes and tell me, what was yellow? You probably don't remember. And that's because you weren't looking for yellow. You were looking for blue. But there's probably a ton of yellow around you. There's a yellow notebook right here. There's more yellow over there. There's yellow Post-its right here. But I wouldn't have been able to tell you. Maybe my notebook, because it's right here in my vision. But really, if you want to repeat that exercise, go somewhere, maybe to a restaurant or a store or something, and have somebody tell you what color to look for. You look for that color, and then close your eyes and have them tell you what color to tell them all about. It's got to be a different color, obviously, else it doesn't work. And try that exercise, like if I knew I was going to say yellow, then I would have looked for more yellow things as I was looking for blue things. But I also know the end of this. So now that you know the end of it, have somebody to surprise you with it. You're like, okay, look for all the blue. You look for all the blue and say, okay, name 5 things that are orange. Okay. It'll be harder. It'll be so much harder because you were looking for the other color. Same thing applies, even abstractly. If you're looking for the bad in your day, if you're looking for the bad in a person, if you're looking for the bad in a situation, if you're looking for the bad in an environment, you will find it. You will, because you get what you look for. But if you are looking for the good, that is true too. You will also find that. That doesn't mean that when you're looking for the blue, you won't also see the yellow. It doesn't mean that when you're looking for the good, you won't also see the bad. But as you search diligently for the good, you will find more good. So when you change the way you look at your life, the life that you're looking at changes. It's like this crazy magic eye illusion, and it's like, do you see the old lady? Okay. Do you see the young lady? Okay. Like you can choose either way. Which one do you see? Do you see the old lady or do you see the young lady? You've got to know what I'm talking about there. So you get to choose what you look for. And then you'll find that. You'll find the other two. Once you see the old lady, it doesn't, for the first time, after you've seen the young lady for forever, that doesn't mean that you're not ever going to see the young lady again. It just means that you get to tell your brain, which one are we looking for right now? Are we looking for the old lady or the young lady? So choose what you are looking for wisely. You will still find the other. It just happens. But what you are looking for will be forefront, and it will be more important, more impactful. And you're telling your brain, this is the important thing. Sure, we're going to find lots of bad on our search for good, but that doesn't really matter because we're not looking for that. We're looking for the good. That's what matters. That's what matters. So anyways, that's what I have for you today. Courtesy of 30 Seconds to Mars, impacting my life since 2001. I love that band. It's a great band. So anyways, that's what I have. Thank you for listening today. I appreciate you, and I hope you have the best day. And I hope you search for all of the best things in your day. Bye for now.